Unfortunately, we can't get together in person for Storytime right now, but that's okay. Thanks to the magic of the internet, we're bringing Storytime to you. I hope you enjoy these stories read by some of our friends and tune in next week for more.
Hello, my name is Elena Baydina, and I am an illustrator in children's books and also an educator. And today I will be reading a book called Sandy's Adventure, which I illustrated. First of all, say hi to Sandy right here. One day, Sandy the starfish woke up in the sun on a warm beach. She was confused because she had been taking her afternoon nap in the cool, wet ocean. How would she get back to her ocean home and her family of sea stars, along with her cousins, sea urchins, sand dollars, sea cucumbers, and sea lilies? Usually she let the current transport her to a new place. As she looked around the beach, suddenly Sandy froze in fear. She saw a sea triton. Uncle Seymour had barely escaped from one by shedding an arm. It took him nearly a year to regrow it. Thoughts of Uncle Seymour vanished as a large, furry creature running around on four limbs ran up to the sea triton. What do you think this creature is? It sniffed at it, used one of its limbs to poke at it, and turned it over. She watched and studied how this animal moved. It picked up its legs and put them down one after another very rapidly. It looked like a little, very strange and large sea otter. Sandy decided to try it too. See, she's flexing. She lifted her arms one at a time in order to see if it would help her get back to the ocean. While Sandy was trying to move, the large creature ran up and startled her. Without thinking, Sandy began to burrow under the sand to hide. The animal sniffed at her and ran on down the beach, making a loud noise. Just as Sandy began to uncover herself, she noticed something high above her. Seagulls. They were awful things that could swoop down out of nowhere, pick you up, never to be seen again. Sandy burrowed herself deeper. She still needed to get back to the ocean and her family. She began to slowly uncover herself while keeping a watch out for the seagulls. Once she had uncovered herself, she again saw and heard the large animal that had sniffed at her before. Only this time, it was running around with two enormous creatures that were walking on two legs. Sandy had heard of such creatures. They were scary and called children. They had not seen Sandy and were digging in the wet sand near the shore. These children moved so fast along the beach, thought Sandy. Maybe she could try moving like them. She tried lifting two of her arms and walking on them. This was not working. She kept trying. Aww. It seemed so simple when the children did it. Sandy nearly fell on her face. That was scary. She decided to rest for a moment. She was feeling a little weak and dehydrated. Something moved to the left of her. It was a crab. It was walking on 8 legs and scurried along the beach quite rapidly. Thankfully, it was a small one. The crab ran up to Sandy and ran away just as quickly on 8 legs. I wish I could do that, Sandy thought, but I only have 5 arms. Sandy had been out on the ocean for a long time. Her family would be worried. How would she get back home? She was worried. Sandy was getting tired. It was almost time for another nap. Sandy began to stretch her arms and legs. Wait, arms and legs. Sandy had thousands of tube feet under her arms, which she used to crawl on the ocean floor. Slowly, she began to creep towards the water. It was going much too slowly. She would never get back at this rate. Worse, the children and four-legged sea otter were between her and the ocean. She was so close to them now, she could hear what they were saying. The taller one said, "We better head back. The tide will be coming in soon. We don't want to be out here when that happens." So they're walking away. Sandy kept trying to walk to the water, but she just couldn't. She was too tired to go any further. She laid down and couldn't move another inch. She began to feel sad. She was never going to see her friends and family again. After a few minutes, she decided that she had to keep trying. She looked up to see how much further she had to go. Unbelievably, while she had been lying there, the ocean had gotten so much closer. In a matter of minutes, she was covered in wonderful sea water again. Along with the water came her family and her friends to greet her. Sandy was so happy to see them all. She had a long story to tell them. The end.